I know.
Oop. Hi there, this is me again. Not gonna be playing any music today. Here in Norway, where I live, I am a Norwegian. We got this pamphlet in the mail about how to be prepared for something here in Norway, and some tips. Though this pamphlet doesn't specify exactly what they want us to be prepared for, it seems to be something which doesn't require the banks to close down, or it doesn't have to. Your DAB radio is going to be fine, and as they don't make any bone about her, is that you have to be very make sure you turn into the state channel and be very suspicious of everything else that you get of information. This, that, and others. So no mention of the big breach of trust many people had with the state because of their ill handling of the COVID-19 thing. And not a word about the fallout of it either. So isn't that convenient? In any case, this is for a week, they say. I've been through quite a lot here. I've been living here for now 10 years, and put together in 3 different situations, I've had to live here extensively without electricity for up to 21, 22 months, twice, and once just 3 months. But I think maybe how the thing with the 3 months pause was the worst of it, because it was so heavy-handed dealt with, both how they turned it off and how they turned it on again. As I say, the distrust of the state and governance runs pretty deep here over the years. They've got something going, if you know what I mean. So that's why I thought it was with a lot of this, also with being offline, off grid. I've had my something that the state didn't do, but some ruffians stole my phone also, so I had to go quite a few months without phone. And 21st century, that's it's mean. It's mean to steal people's phone, especially when you see that they live out in the middle of nowhere and have just treated you nice all the time. So if whoever is watching this is among the thieves, that's my sincere opinion. That's a mean thing, and you shouldn't do that. Shame on you, big time. What is back to that? Mor, hvordan skal vi få til dette? Det er ikke lett å spille inn. Nei, det skal alle ordet perfekt hele tida. Ja, skal man si noe som makes sense? Makes sense that I'm an artist, I suppose. For me, that's a kind of uh, it's the best thing to say because it's so undefinable what I do. I wake up, I start executing what I have in order. If I don't have anything planned, I make a plan to do something. And all the time trying just to push these things forward a little bit. So if you don't mind me just jumping from topic to topic here a little bit while we're discussing this preparedness pamphlet, that's I think that's going to be the best thing. um, but when I had the opportunity to actually live here out, because before that I lived quite in a village with a lot of people I'm actually pretty fond of, but they kind of also since that also is an inland place, a lot of the realities of what happens in bigger towns and cities is kind of obsolete for them, and what happens on the continent and the rest of the world is something that's just on the television screen, and it doesn't have anything to do with daily life there. Although I would say to them many times that rougher days are ahead, and it's better to prepare a little bit too much than much too little, I should say. But it's easy to disregard such well-meaning warnings when it's good times, and you yourself likely never shed a thought about it. Mostly Norwegians trust the state, trust the government. But as I say, since the COVID-19, that trust has gotten a big tear. How they handle it, how they rough themselves into people's life, and close. How can you say to people you cannot go and visit your dying mom or father because they might die of COVID-19 if you come in there? How can you? How can you be so heartless for some money? Shame on you too. Oh, I'm so glad I'm not. But you need to hear it because I don't think anybody has actually told that to you. And that goes for a lot of people in many branches. I'm very sad you didn't have the backbone in your body to say, I'm turning down the money, I'm turning down the status, I'd rather have my hands clean. But you have to live with yourself and your choices, and well, sleeping well, what? Because sure. So okay. I think I'm getting to it here now. The first thing it doesn't talk anything about. Mind you, these without electricity, without phone. Yes, it's been very taxing. But on the other side, I've also been like, well, who do I know that's better prepared for dealing with these situations? And did I not buy this place because I wanted to experience these things a bit more head on, direct, and while I can in peaceful social times, while there's still some organization out in society at large, because I don't think that's going to be the case into the future. When it's gonna fall apart or be so reprehensible that you don't want to have anything to do with it, when that is going to be, I don't know, but it's certainly going to be in my lifetime, and most likely in yours as well. That's been my thing since I was very young. We are. It's like we're on the Titanic, and there is an ice shelf. Navigate away from it, and I just keep pushing. We need to get there. We need to get closer, and you cannot tell people so much when you are just a simpleton like I am. Not even when I was in school. I was not in school for the to get good grades. I just wanted to get into an art school and do my art thing. To be frank, I couldn't stand these petulant brats that sort of live their own life. They found a good way to get good grades is just talking, just parroting the teacher. I guess that's just that you, you 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 go over, you skip that thing about critical thinking in order to get good grades. Is it strange we have this woke thing going on at large? Because it seems to be a sort of an outcrop of that mentality. Oh boy. So the first thing I wrote there, even before getting clean water, is that you need to get your spiritual house in order. That's something I've been prayerful for at least 15 past 15, 17 years. Each morning, each evening, it's good to start and end the day with a solemn prayer. Doesn't have to be that long, but a long prayer is sometimes it relieves the heart of a lot of tension and stress. It just offer it up to what the Most High, the listener in the silences, and you take it out of your own hands. It doesn't mean that the problems go away. Doesn't mean that you're not gonna have sleepless nights, because that happens in stressful situations, and especially with when you have so little control of what goes on in real life as to how you perceive you could have done it better. The Bible also says that money is the solution to all things, but when you don't have any money, it's hard to find a solution, and you definitely need to work harder on your spiritual house, and just harden yourself for what lies ahead, and try to make a way. That's at least what I've been doing. I'm also now for the past year I've been on social service, social I don't know what you call it. getting some free money. But I don't envision that to last forever. It's not a vision of mine to. I've always want to build something for myself. I think that's. I have a lot of good ideas on how to do that. What people need that is not readily available anywhere. Except if you know where to look. So that's I guess that's some of the things I will get into as I eventually start like here. That's the next thing you need after you learn how to pray. Or before, but you should get a gravity feed water filter nevertheless. One for your home, one for your cabin, one for your boat. It's not that the drinking water you get every day is undrinkable, far from it. But a good quality water filter will increase the quality of it. And by drinking good, clean water, you also maintain a better health much more easily. The body is able to flush out toxins in your body way more efficiently than if the water you are drinking actually contain toxins. Makes sense? So, but you have to be very picky about the filters. There are products on the market that are not up to par, and there's some very good products. And this water filtration thing, this is something I've been into also, like for at least 18 years. So I feel I know a thing or two about it, but it's easy also to find people that know a whole lot more than me. But locally, I think I have a good inkling about water quality and what it takes. To me, also, this is, you know, obligatorisk. Why don't they say this here? Is because they are used to having a calm life and paying their taxes and bills on time, and they don't bother to, I don't think they have had to think so much about how things would be in a case scenario where not only is grid down, but the phones are down, the television is down, the DAB radio doesn't work. Did I sell the cell phones? I mean, what if an EMP strike? It's quite possible. It's very, it's not off the board, I think. Then you cannot pay your bank. And you cannot use your the money you have in your bank either, because then you have to go to the bank computer and ask it to get some money out for you, but you can't do that because it's grid down. It does say that you need to have some cash lying around though, so that's a good thing. Also, if you are I don't know who they're really talking to here. It seems to be people that I live in a house and with some people around, but it doesn't say if you're living in apartment or rental space, city block, I don't know. You don't have a fireplace. You don't have gas heating typically, and the water you're getting, you're very reliant on it being able to be pumped up to your floor. which might not be the case if the electricity is out. And you're also gonna have a, I'll get into it. What I'm saying about the water though is that you can do, and what I'm doing here is that I'm now taking a couple of my trash bins, move them in, one on the upper floor and one here on the first floor, and fill them with water, fill them with rainwater, because that's just so convenient. Out of convenience, that's one of the nice things about this life. What I drink is filtered rainwater. I wouldn't drink rainwater not filtered, in part because there's so much gunk being sprayed into the atmosphere. And well, there's a lot of gunk overall in just in rainwater. It's the most unrefined baby water almost you can get. So the best, highest quality water you can get is oppkommervann, we call it, a wellspring. Water just comes bubbling out of its own volition up from the ground. God, that's the best water ever. But you don't get that in a city block, that's for sure, and you have to search far and wide to find those well springs around. But if you are out and you know about a place such as that, that's where I would want to go and get my water. If there had been something like this in, you know, a couple of kilometers distance, I'd be filling up my buckets with that water. Then that would be more for worst case scenario. If I have to be on the move, or you have to be on the move, this doesn't require any leads or connections or electricity. It just works on fill the water here and that we're going to use on top, and in here is a couple of filters, and you just add some time and it starts dripping into the lower chamber and gets clean water. If you look on my profile there, I have at least 1 or 2 videos about water filtration and how these filters works. So and also that's by keeping some barrels of water indoors, it's not only for a crisis. As I say, I use the water daily, but it's also in case of if, because I use firewood, and winter time is typically the time where most fires happen, because then you are using fire a whole lot more than in the summer. So just simply because I know that the tap water, there's not enough pressure in the tap water that I could reasonably. No, it's easy just to have a bucket and just dip it into a barrel and pour it on the fire, instead of oh, can you fill it up? It keeps fire. Capiche? So that's a moment to think about. Farmer or lyst. Yeah, how to keep things warm. This is also yeah, it says that and this is things I've been doing a lot, and I'm gonna do this winter as well. In not too long, I'm gonna add some blankets up here. So and under the windows as well, and upstairs a big blanket just close off the space. Also into the kitchen. The kitchen is gonna be way cooler this winter. I'm so happy I have that I got to move down my records and the books into the living room because they're terrific insulation. I noticed last winter that last winter was that was the last winter I was without electricity. I got it back here in March. Thank you, social services. Much appreciated. Um, uh, so um, you need to narrow down the space that you have to heat up, and there's quite a few. There's some methods I've seen on YouTube where I just use some tea candles and some concrete blocks that I warm up, and that's. But I think that's gonna take ages, and but but you can make heat. A warming element with extremely simple means. So you want to go and look for that. I would also say that uh, if you have a small tent or something and it's really cold, do consider pitching your tent inside your living room, and then that's the tent is then going to be your main unit where you want to keep warm. It's very possible. My monk friend, he's been here 3 times as well. No? Yeah, 3 times. Um, he um, he comes here in the winter to be outdoors up on the mountain to meditate. God, I respect that. I don't want to do it myself, but it's so hardcore. Uh, he he has his rucksack, and in that he has the most necessary things to keep him alive throughout the winter. Uh, Big puffer jacket, um, good tent, warm shoes, warm socks, good tea, herbal tea, and from that, he usually he would walk down to the nearest store, maybe once a week, to get a little bit food, and he would just be up there, any kinds of weather, sitting outside, meditating. It's wow. Pitch a tent in your living room. You know where you live and what your needs would be. But definitely, if you can seal off as much as possible for cold times, the easier it's going to be to keep warm. Furthermore, this is something because to get good at this, it's not hard. You go to your electrical mains and you just switch it off for a weekend and keep pen and paper ready and take notes. Because you're going to learn a lot just by doing, and turning off the electricity is not hard. That's just flipping a switch and you're good to go. So if you've got friends that want to train with you, you're gonna have more fun, because it's you need to learn to have fun with it. If not, you're just gonna look at it as an ordeal, and if it comes to it's happening for real, you're not gonna. It's always the best to go in with things you good positive mindset. Always, I would say. Do think of it. Be mindful of that. You also need to think on the food. Not so much to say to it, but you also need to remember that your pets also need food. They actually omitted that here, so I think that's also what you want to look at. Go online and look for a bulk sale of freeze-dried foods. Then you can buy, a big case, or maybe even a pallet if you want to do that. And freeze-dried food is like you can store it forever, or at least 40 years. So then you're going to be sorted. I don't know, household. I have some book with some literature here. This is a book, I did not read it, but I bought it way back then when I got started, just there to prepare. And when I open it, it's quite a lot of tables here of how much food you need, how much energy they give, how to store, taking care of your investment. There's medications, health items that you need to want to. This is actually a very good book to just have on your shelf and peruse from time to time. Also, as always, with if you have friends or family who take these things seriously, you're gonna have a lot of fun, and I think also before long you will have your you administer. I want to do this. I like that. You have your own sets of expertises and responsibilities that you need to take care of. And that's also a way to have fun with this. Actually, pretty serious things. Egen beredskap for better. How can you pay? The payment systems in Norway are safe and effective, but things can happen. So they want you to have more cards and from different banks. I don't. I should have. Let me first get some money. I think get some cash lying around home. That's a good idea. It's one of my big ambitions is that I should have some, but I simply don't. I'm mostly broke. Or I no, not broke as I used to be. Oh man, oh boy. But they are very much have account in several banks in case technical problems happens. So they have some here. I think they don't want the banks to go down, and they also want they don't want you to lose your ability to pay. That's a good thing. Checklist for egenberedskap, some checklist. A lot of these things are actually pretty common sense. There's some things I'm not so good at there. It says that you should have the iodine pills. I don't have that. I'm not sure you get that at the pharmaceutical store. It doesn't. But I should have that. That's in case of nuclear fallout. I was visiting with a friend earlier this week, and he had fun with the thermonuclear bomb simulator. Oh, if a bomb explodes, how big is the? Oh, okay, ha ha ha. So these things are online, and I don't think actually around here is a big target for a nuclear strike. In Norway, there might be, we might get a couple of 3, maybe 4 bombs if we are doing really bad. But and then it would, I believe, it would be targeting a bigger city. Although just because most of the footage that you see of nuclear bombs being tested are from the 50s and 60s, and they blew up big bombs back then. I don't think that's going to be the reality on the ground in the next conflict, because now there's a lot of smaller nuclear devices that don't cause that big destruction, but it's still a nuclear blast and still should be outlawed, if you ask me. So that's iodine being sure. Oh yeah, they get a DAB radio that is runs on battery or a swivel or solceller. DAB radio is such a useless medium, but what it should have, it's not okay. It's not entirely useless. You get good reception on it, but in case of an EMP or as we see now during solar maximum, is that the sun flares up like snow tomorrow. I've been very impressed with what we got, because I think the electrical systems they're getting to feel all this activity. And this would also be the case in case of a comet passing by. We just had one. Did you notice? Okay, I own up. Thankfully, we didn't get pelted with small pebbles from the tail of the comet, and we didn't get. I saw a couple of people getting that are usually healthy people who got ill just in that passage, but it was so little that can we just get rid of these flies there? Oh, that's good. We did get all these auroras. I believe that was very much us being having some interaction with that comet in almost straight line between us and the sun. It was spectacular. So yeah, but in case the grid goes down, then you're gonna, a DAB radio is not gonna help you anything at all, but a shortwave radio might. The shortwave community, and this is also things that I need to get better at. I can hardly operate a shortwave radio. I think it's a bit complicated, or it's not complicated. It's a matter of having patience. But I wish we had our bakkebånd still operative. because in worst case scenario, uh, we would have an ability to get the ground, the radio apparatus thing on the ground. We can fix it, but we cannot take a rocket out into space and fix all these satellites that are, Starlink. It might not. In case of Terminator scenario, hope for hope for an EMP, a solar EMP event, so they can take out all that. I would say. I've also added here that something you would want to have is thermal binoculars or a scope, and guns and ammo, and how to use it. This is also things I don't have, but actually I dread that I accept that that is something that would be incredibly useful in a worst case scenario. Mind you, for those who have, if you followed any of the hurricane season, and I think it was Helena that wreaked the worst damage up in the South States, Florida up to the Carolinas and Georgia. People were closed up. They might still not have been entirely gotten back to normal, or that's of course not, but gotten connected to infrastructure. They might not even have their electricity back as of yet. From what I have learned, when things like this happened, it either brings out the best in people or the worst. And for many criminals, they view disasters like this as an economic opportunity. So, and the police would not be around to help you, neither would the military. So, you and your family would be very much left to your own devices. And if criminals would try to impinge on your property, it is on you to be able to repel them or face the consequences of not having used your foresight to prepare for such an eventuality. It's something I have to face, something I'm facing all the time here. But these are peaceful social circumstances yet, and there is civility among us yet. And that's in my prayers always, is that I really hope common sense prevail, and we can maintain this goodwill between humans. But there's also so much deceit and a lot of this wickedness in high places. They're making a bad example out of what we actually, all the good things we could do, if you ask me. And they seem to be on the payroll of someone, but I don't know who. Who? Oh, that's who. Yeah, we could get out of the World Health Organization. We'd probably improve our health, by leaps and bounds. Which is where we're going to get to next now. Bad hygiene can lead to infections and diseases. If you don't have water in your tap, personal hygiene and cleanliness is more of a challenge. Back to point number 2, get a good high quality water filter, you will not be disappointed. You can even look for like bigger systems that whole house water filtration, so you don't have to wash in chlorine, for example, that all the water that's being used in the house is filtered as it comes into the house. I think that if I could afford something like that, that would be great. And as I say, I don't have bad quality water as such, but there is arsenic in it. I know, quite a lot of it, and I can definitely feel a difference from when I'm drinking tap water to having it filtered. But that's gonna be, to not get to not get sick, because that's also very much in a worst case scenario, that's you don't want to get sick. That's when first and foremost you want to be in your best health. That's when it's most needed. So what I've been talking a little bit about before, and it's very here they say have wet blankets, serviette, hand spirits, and extra toilet paper, and garbage bags. Yeah, you need bleier, menstruasjon. So my go-to over the years have been these etheric oils, essential oils, and I'm applying them. I'm not using hand spray or like the spirits that they recommended you do during the pandemic. What a joke. I wish you people had the ability to laugh such nonsense off. I truly do, because what happens when you use spirits, you use it when I've been out painting, and I have a lot of sticky oil paint on my hands. I want to get it off. Then I use white spirit, and it cleans up. Or diesel. It's actually I like diesel better because it's got oil, so you don't dry out your skin. So, but white spirit is usually what you get, and what it does, it's pretty much the same that you found in the stores when they were trying to pull the wool over your eyes. That protective fat layer that's between the outer world and the skin is being rubbed off, and all the cell pores here are suddenly way more exposed to anything coming through. Can you believe that? That's what the so-called health authorities recommended that you should do, apart from using this stupid mask that so many of you also willingly went along with. The reason they have this, when you see in hospitals, is not because they are afraid of they are operating, and when they are operating and they're talking, they start to dribble. So it's to not get dribble on the patient. They are wearing those masks. You would also see in times of old, you see in this, it's look kind of like they are from a horror movie, because the doctors come with these big beaks. I don't know, you probably have seen it. because the stench of the places they are going into are so bad, so rancid, so you cannot ignore it. They would have these beaks, and those beaks would be filled with aromatic herbs that would so they would have even if they would breathing the same air as like the case of the Black Plague, with corpses lying on corpses, cannot imagine that's then it makes sense. But just in everyday life, now if there is disease, you're gonna smell it, and if somebody is sick, you should be able to smell it too, or you can see it on people's behavior in many cases. And at least here in Norway, at least it used to be until very recently, people are usually as sensible that they know that okay, before all this happened, if you were sick, you would still try to go to work. You would go to work all the way until you knew that okay, now I am actually so sick that if I go to work, I might be causing more problems. I might be the one that's then you be at home treating yourself to some good tea or cocoa or honey, all that good stuff that keeps you get you back on your feet. But there was no talk about that during the pandemic. So much things we should have done different, and we could have done differently. One thing here is that we are a very decentralized society. We have city centers here and there, but you know, pretty much where you go in Norway, somebody's going to put up a house somewhere, unlikely, just for the heck of it. Oh, I like this cranny, I like this nook, I think I'm going to try to build a house here. It doesn't look possible, but I'm sure going to try. So you find a lot of that there, and that's one of the things I really love about this country. We, that's so there's also I think you can almost call them cabin cities. People can afford to have a cabin, but not everybody can afford to have several acres of undisturbed mountain. So they flock together and create cabin. It's a cabin congestion. It's not the same as trailer parks at all. It's people can afford to build a high quality, but they cannot get. And regulations also state you cannot. We want to have our vidda. We want our mountain plateaus. And we would love to go up there and ski or on foot to just enjoy it. But on the outskirts, we have these towns, cabin towns. People go up in the weekend and the holidays and stay. So up on high, you get a lot of good D vitamins and the sunshine, and you know, you're not like in a city. You're block where you are just closed off. And now you can go out and you can you know, maintain a healthy lifestyle and not go on anybody's nerves really. So if I had been prime minister back then, I would say, okay, this is a good chance. Now let's let's increase your self-sufficiency up on high. Let's get some portable hospitals in case it's needed, and staff are the people in the cabin communities or in the medical profession. Can we enroll you to this? So you have I would go to that. You would get more higher degree of self-sufficiency in such areas. But of course we did as probably Event 201 contract stipulated, get people into the cities and keep them locked down. That's can you imagine the people who have signed on your behalf? Oh yeah. Bastards. Yeah, there's because also in a city when it's like that, and you live in a block, not only is the water hard to get up, and clean water is more essential than any time. You're gonna have your refuse, your poo. Here they say you can. If it's not possible to use the toilet as normal, you can make an emergency toilet by having a double shopping bag into the lavatory and do your thing in that. Then after you tie it together so it doesn't stink, and you dispose of it as it was normal garbage. Hello. Hello. Did it not occur these people who have made this pamphlet that maybe the garbage service won't be running, and that is gonna accumulate, and that's gonna carry a lot of disease in it? What exactly what were you thinking? So what you would do, and something I got is you can use toilet if you have plenty of water. You can use regular toilet and just use a bucket to run the water through, and it will go down the drain. And I think most of the sewer systems mostly they're going with gravity. They're going lower and lower, but I don't know. Otherwise, you could get a camping toilet. I found one out in the forest a few years ago, and I was so happy. I was so happy, and it really that was. But if you can afford to buy one, get one. That's a good investment if you want to get do some preparedness. This first. High quality water filter first, but to get rid of your poo. Yeah, camping toilet is good. But I think also if I was living in a city and I felt it was safe to go out, I would take, after I had done my thing, I would take the bag all the way to find a sewer drain and empty it out there, so it at least it's going into the sewer itself. Not you don't want to have it on ground and stink up the place, because that's as I say, it's where diseases are made. And I'm dumbfounded that they're so. But these people are they haven't lived life. In information and communication. I written her, be careful about what you take in from the official news. These are lessons learned from the COVID-19 thing. They did so much subterfuge. They censored and they slanted and they promoted the wrong people, basically. And I would like to see those people behind this stand trial, frankly. You want to have pen and paper because if electricity isn't on, you want power packs. You want to have them charged up. If you have some means of charging them, like a hand swivel or something, go for it. You're gonna need it. You're gonna be happy that you are going to be able to receive news, even if it's only official. I think it's even better just to turn off and be a bit ignorant. But we will have to see whatever they got planned. I've written her, in a prolonged crisis situation, be aware it can be very dangerous to move outside or just show signs of life, because, as I said, criminals view crisis as economic opportunity. You also have to be very mindful of junkies, actually. If you are a junkie and watching this, you have to be aware of this yourself, with yourself and your friends, that in a worst case scenario, you might not get your junk, and that's gonna make you a very psychotic boy or girl. So it behooves you, in the shortest time possible, to learn how to cope without getting your kicks, frankly, because then you will be a liability, and for people who don't know you, you might cause them harm if they trust you. So this is something you have to be very aware of, whether you are junkie or not, that especially in a city, those people will be running out on the streets, and they will be very loose cannons. I think most of them are relatively harmless, but that's something that you need to be mindful of. That, of course, Gentile brochure like this wouldn't entertain such a thought, but that would be the reality. If it's a real crisis, though, this is sensible. If it's a real crisis, the governments and officials and the powers to be, they will have so much things to do that they don't have time to take care of me or you. If it's a manufactured crisis and the government or entities are behind it, if there's one thing they will have all the time in the world, is to make sure you are following orders and ignore any calamity that's gone over there. That's not you need to look right ahead. So that I think that's going to be a good indication whether it's a real event or a false flag. Yeah, I have shortwave radio. That is not real. A lot of these things I've been picking up over the years is by listening to John Moore, the libertyman.com. He's doing 3 hours from Monday to Friday on republicbroadcasting.org. I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video so you can check it out. I like Republic Broadcasting a lot. It's it's like Alex Jones, but without all the fanfare and woo. It's very down to earth radio with a lot of calling. It's like a local radio, but it's over in the States, and they do live broadcasts. So in the summertime, now we are in the winter time, so I can say that first. It's from in local time here in Norway, from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, or in the summertime it would be like from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you get John Moore. That's get a lot of prepper tips, survival, current events, health tips, products that you're gonna want to know more about. It's very good radio, and you can call in if you're wondering about something. They're always very friendly, and that's the kind of radio we used to have when I was growing up, actually, where you could have live call-ins. But I think as NRK got more and more sanitized, people couldn't call in anymore. Strange, eh? Okay, so getting to the end of it there. Yeah. If you have people that you can do all these things, and you want to meet them, worst case scenario goes down, even your cars won't work in an EMP. Electric bikes won't work. Anything electric, anything with a transistor won't work. If you have old cars like from like before the 70s, before transistor technology, you likely can start it. I don't know, will run. So that's maybe one thing you want to look out for if you're looking for a vintage car. You want something that can run even after an EMP. And I think I did say, I did not say about car. You want to keep your or any vehicle or anything really. Just to remind yourself that you're taking this seriously, is that you keep your fuel tanks topped off. Never let it run below half a tank. Believe you, I've been out in the field with very experienced people, and by some twist of fate, they never had gotten that advice. And we're out in the middle of nowhere in a tractor, and it runs empty. You don't keep your tanks topped off when you're going on expeditions? Oh no. So then it's a long walk to get a new tank and fill it up, and you want to keep your tanks topped off anyway, and never let them go below half a tank. If you are in a real crisis, you want to get out of a place as soon as possible. You want to have probably a couple of extra tanks of fuel at your place. So if you need to go on a really long trek, you can do this all the way without stopping anywhere. I think that would be a good tactic. And you, with the people that you are working with, that you have already agreed upon a rendezvous point, and established how much time you need to get there, so you don't have to talk this over. I think you see this on some of the action movies that are coming. We have to move on, and in such a circumstance, that's going to be the reality of it, and you will always do better if you are a group than you are all alone. Yeah. One of the advices I got over the many years back that I really tried to adhere to, but I just couldn't find anybody into it, is that don't become the Lone Ranger. I've been doing a lot of Lone Ranger. I'm not a lonely person. I don't consider myself, but it's you need to meet like-minded people that want to just take life a little bit more seriously, I think. The best thing about all this is even if nothing bad happens, is that you're just going to be more have a higher quality of life. You will be more reliant in your own being, and you will be better able to if you meet people you don't like, you're going to be much easier to be I don't have time for this, and thank you but no thanks, and not feel like you're being rude or anything. Far from it. This is a lesson I had to learn over the years, that for sure. Some book, folk medicine. It's just a thin pamphlet, what they used in the old days. Find some old books on, kjerringråd, I should say. Before the doctor and pharmaceutical industry got kicking, people were much more well versed in what they could do to maintain. This one is very simple. Here is just apple cider and vinegar and honey, and it details so many things. And how you apply it, so you can carry yourself through a lot of bad times. Surviving Planet X Passage, I mean, that's then we are that's James McCanney. Definitely he's got some books, some literature. I'm saying again and again, you want to check out. Why wouldn't you? The Partisan's Handbook. This is Sosha Fall. That's a Russian disinformation agent. Yes, I believe there's something to that. But I ordered this book because I was going to her site quite frequently, long time ago. So okay, I like this. It's an essential survival guide for resistance, foreign military occupation, escape and evasion techniques, surviving interrogation, facing execution, and wilderness survival. That's quite a mouthful. Did I read the book? Yes. Did I learn some from it? Yes. Would I be able to cope with surviving interrogation or facing execution? God knows, I would hope, but there's no guarantee for it. When things get real, you never know. You never know how well you're gonna fare. That I think you also have to realize, because when things are real, it's no longer make believe. So it's an entirely different set of circumstances that kick in. But you can just, I think that's where getting your spiritual house in order, first and foremost, even before the gravity water filter, is that you need to strengthen your inner resolve. You have to make clear to yourself who you want to be, and what you want to accept and not accept, and be aware that you always want, man wants to live, but not under every circumstance. If some things truly are, it disgusts you to the core, it might be better than just just hope for it's going to be quick and painless. That's and read about the martyrs in history. It's not, or the suffering of Jesus Christ. I mean, that's the most elemental. You have to be like us. No, we kill you. And torture. I mean, why? We are such beasts we can be. So anyway, that's I just wanted to share all that with you. I suppose I'm not in the habit of censoring myself, although many times I hope this doesn't get too cringe. If the things are said about the thieves and those who cut off the electricity and or did work on the jabbing end of the COVID-19 thing, if that any of that offends you, I've heard so many offensive things said to me over years, and nobody ever apologized to me. So you just have to accept that not everybody agrees with pharmaceutical apartheid and a technocratic takeover. I can't understand what's so strange about that, especially without no principled discussion on the pros and cons of what. You stopped listening, okay. I think that's that. As always, I want to get back to the music. I've been doing the drum and bass thing and had fun with it, but last weekend I thought, oh yeah, no, maybe it's about time I start doing it. I'm gonna change the tempo and the style a little bit. And the weather. I could give you a pretty detailed report on how I think the weather is gonna work out. But let's just say over the years I've left you with enough clues on how to work this out yourself, and where to obtain the study material to learn it. So if you have done your due diligence and if for some reason this video is left up and is commentable at all, you could show that you actually read the books, the Principia Meteorologia, because it's got some copyright protection. I don't think it's I'm awkward in, but I can say what I can say from my own is that it's likely not going to be so much snow this winter. It's not going to be like two previous winter where it's just been a lot of it. No, I think we're going to be like, if you have like up to I mean only here locally, if we are more than 30 centimeters by Christmas, I will be very surprised. I think it's going to be more like 15 to 20. But we will have a couple of storms before that. But you can figure out when those storms are. That's not for me to tell you. And I believe like both the week before and the week after Christmas, it's not going to be a lot of snow. I think it's going to be pretty calm. And whatever we got before Christmas, expect about the same amount coming down than from a week out in January into around middle March, middle to late March. When I think the winter is going to be pretty much over. And if you've been doing, I would say when by late March, if you follow up on those essential oils and learn how to use them, I think it's going to help you big time, health-wise, in that period. Without divulging too much, I feel like I'm better. I think I'm. Yeah. So, with that being said, I think that was a pretty wordy sleep. They got some free tips of me, or are they gonna tax me for it? Hey.